Hey everybody, what's up? It's Mike, Real Old Dad. Today is the official launch of my brand expansion where I'm getting into DIY stuff, builds, home improvement, and we're kicking that off with some budget-friendly cedar flower boxes, planters, whatever you want to call them, that are going to go in my front beds where my rhododendrons were. I found out the hard way you're not supposed to put rhododendrons under an eave or a drip line. They just didn't do too well. So I transplanted those bad boys. They're now in the backyard and I'm left with this void of space, 4 voids to be exact, and I needed to do something with them, and I figured, hey, I loved my annuals last year. Let's get some flower boxes in here to make some more annuals. So I have 4 flower boxes made from cedar fence pickets and pressure treated 2x4s. The total cost of materials for this are about $100 depending on where you live. Lumber prices can be crazy right now, but the cedar fence pickets expect to spend around $3 per picket. I got mine for $2.87. Pressure treated 2x4s, I actually didn't pay for them. I had a bunch of them in the backyard, so I used those. Then I needed a box of 2-inch screws and a box of 1 5/8" screws, and those run about $10 per box for 1 pound of screws. So you may have those laying around, and these are exterior screws. So I got my saw set up and I made a makeshift kind of cut stop out of my scrap pieces of lumber that were laying in the shed. This project calls for 15 fence pickets, 3 2x4s. So these planters are going to be 24 inches by 16 inches by around 16 inches tall. Out of the 15 boards, the first 12 I cut 2 24-inch sections per board for a total of 24 boards. I then cut out 1 16-inch section from each of the 12 boards, and the remainder 3 boards I cut out 4 16-inch sections. That gives me 24 boards for the 24-inch and 24 boards for the 16-inch. I then took the pressure treated 2x4s, cut those at 16 inches as well. I needed a total of 16 16-inch pieces of the 2x4s, 4 for each flower box. Okay, so with all the pieces cut now, I've laid out 3 of the 24-inch pieces. These are going to be the fronts and backs of the flower box. So you'll need 6 total pieces per flower box. I have one of my scrap pieces here, the cedar, and I'm just lining it up and running a pencil mark, but this is just going to be the guide for where I want my 2x4 that we're going to screw into these. And I'm just doing it on these ends here. I'll make sure the middle one, the sides are all good and flush prior to screwing. And we're going to line up flush on this end. Then I have some 2-inch exterior grade deck screws. Gonna put one in there at first. Make sure everything still looks good on the line over here. Middle piece is still lined up, so we're going to get 1 screw in for that. Just finishing off putting 2 screws into each picket. Oops, lost the guy there. Now the big test, 2-inch screws. Oh, sweet, it didn't stick. So we're gonna repeat this process now 1 more time, and that'll get the front and back of 1 flower box. Then you just do it over and over and over again for however many of these flower boxes you wanna make. Okay, so I have all my fronts and backs finished. Now we need to attach the side pieces. We need to decide what side we want facing out. And for these, I'm actually just going to be screwing them in kind of with a face screw. I'm not going in from behind like I did on the fronts. I'm not too worried about that. And I switched to some 1 5/8" exterior screws that are a tan color to help blend in better with the cedar, but of course, you know, it won't match. So I'm going to pre-start all of the screws for each side. Okay, with those done, now we're going to start attaching these. I'm just lining it up here, kind of where this board ends. Now there are some thickness variations between the planks, so it may not be perfect. Then we rotate around and do the exact same thing. Then line it up again. Just make sure the short end where the overhang goes around the same sides. Kind of put that down in there. Then you're going to want to push all of these guys out. Get everything lined up. And now just screw everything in. Little knot right there. And there we have it, your flower box. Then just repeat this for however many you want to make. Some tips will be when screwing in all those 2x4s to the fronts and backs, go ahead and line up all the 2x4s. Start all the screws. So once you get each little section panel lined up, you can just go through and just screw them all in, and it helps speed up the process quite a bit. But I built 4 flower boxes. It's taken me maybe about an hour and 45 minutes, and that's with filming this and a couple breaks. So not a bad project, really quick, easy, and they look pretty good. Haven't decided if I'm putting a finish on it or not. I have some Australian timber oil that may go over this, but we'll see. And now I will have a link down below to where you can go and get the plans. Not much of a plan, it's pretty much just a glorified cut list and a materials list on what you need to buy, but I will have a link down below if you're interested in this. This was a really simple project. Didn't take a lot of time, and I think turned out really well. If you have any suggestions for flowers to plant in there, leave them in the comments below. If you're going to attempt building one of these guys, snap some pictures, use the hashtag RLDDIY on Instagram. I'm following that so I can see your all's projects. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all are gonna build. So with that, it's Mike, Real Low Dad, branching out. We'll see you again soon.